Hope via shopdap.com. Hi, I'm having problems with my ignition coils. I took my 2010 VW CC to a dealer and they did a diagnostic and found out I need to replace the spark plugs and ignition coils. I also have a problem with my trunk harness. I mistakenly replaced the fog lights because I was getting a fault in my screen, but it's for sure the trunk harness. My question is, I live deep in the state of Georgia. Can you recommend an honest mechanic? I don't really trust the dealership. They sold me the CC telling me it had undergone some 10-point check. The car has 65,000 on it when I bought it. Why didn't they replace the spark plugs and ignition coils?
Okay, so Hope, all vehicles that go under used car inspections are inspected by whatever shop that dealer has. If it's a VW dealer, obviously their shop inspects it. If it's a used car dealer or something else, a lot of times they'll have a third-party person involved. That is a really complicated question because basically here's how the process works. A car gets traded in or purchased at an auction by a dealer, either a dealership or a used car place. They then inspect it for the sale. That dealer gets a list of items to replace by that shop or their shop. Let's assume it's a VW dealer. Their shop gives them a list of things. Hey, here are preventative things you can replace. And then the used car manager or whoever makes decisions at the dealership makes a decision as to what they do to the vehicle. So they're not going to replace the plugs every time unless it's needed. Now, that could be debatable, but if it's not up for a service interval, they're not going to replace the plugs. If it is up for a service interval and they didn't do it, some dealers still do things like that, where even if it's up for the interval, they're trying to keep the cost as low as possible of the vehicle, so they do as little as they possibly can to make the vehicle saleable. If it's a certified car from VW, it would have to have fallen within any particular maintenance that that vehicle was required to have. But let's say, for example, that car has a 40,000 mile interval for spark plugs. They're not going to replace the plugs at 60 unless there's a problem. If there's a check engine light in the car when you bought it, that's a completely different story, but 10,000 miles is enough of a time that they can't foresee. They don't have a crystal ball to know what's going to fail in the vehicle for the given future. So, tough question. I don't have specifics as to what happened or why they didn't replace it. Could be negligence, could just be they did what was done was correct at the time of the used car inspection. Really tough to say. The reality is that you're going to need plugs and coils, it sounds like, and you'll probably have to just bite the bullet and replace them.